Hello and welcome. This is the news at 10 on Nta News 24. We are live in Abuja. I am Stella Inameti. Now the headlines. International observers commend political actors for successful elections in Ghana. Nigeria and Qatar signed bilateral framework to enhance Nigeria's healthcare ecosystem. Nigeria's police force says it has successfully rescued 20 kidnapped victims in Katsina State. Plus, correspondent takes a look at devastating boat mishaps in Nigeria. Many thanks for joining us. Now we begin the news with the handing over of the site for a new international market to the contractor in Kogi State. And joining us from Lokoja is the Commissioner for Information Communications, Kingsley Femi Fanwo. Glad to have you, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay. Why a new ultra-modern market when we already have an existing one?
Thank you very much. The one we had was the Lokoja International Market. The location of that market has become a menace to the society. It was situated at the intersection of the highway leading to Lokoja and the road also leading to the southern part of the country. That has led to many accidents, many fire incidents, and all of that. So to ensure safety and to ensure that we are able to harness all of our opportunities and potentials, and to be able to free the road from unnecessary traffic and accidents, that informed the decision to have a new ultra-modern market in Lokoja that is situated at a place that will not pose any threat, danger to our citizens.
Well explained, but what happens to that site in future?
Thank you very much. The old site is going to be put into a very good use. We are an administration that pays a lot of attention to ensuring that we put our infrastructure into use. The old site is going to be converted into the Kogi State government warehouse. And we are also going to have the commodity exchange market there, where we'll be able to exchange a lot of agricultural commodities and keep a lot of agricultural produce. That is what we are going to convert that into while we move to the new ultra-modern market that will be sitting on 25 hectares of land along Zone 8 to Crusher Road.
Okay, what would be the new deal? I mean, you know, different from what you already have on ground?
Thank you very much. It is an ultra-modern market. We factor a lot of things into consideration. Looking at the pictures that are being shown on your station, that shows that we are putting in place a holistic market that will be able to take care of the commercial and economic needs of those that will be using the market. It is a market that will house 6 other smaller markets scattered around the state that are causing a lot of nuisance. What we feel is the most economical thing to do is to bring all of those markets together in one center. And this market is going to serve as the commercial hub of the North Central. We are factoring the fact that being the center of the nation, we are to take full advantage of it by becoming the commercial hub where people will be able to come from the north and from the south to converge at the ultra-modern market in Lokoja to transact multi-billion businesses.
So what's the time frame for the completion of this project? Because many people will be wondering.
Thank you very much. It is our hope from the assurances that we have from the construction company, SABC Construction Company Limited. It is our hope that before the expiration of this first term, we should be able to complete it, except there will be some additional works. But what we want to assure the people is that as a very transparent administration, we'll be giving them updates as to how this project is going from time to time. The governor, being the chief servant of the people of the state and the custodian of the taxes of the state, would ensure that there is transparency and accountability, and will be visiting the site from time to time to report to the people of the state and the people of Nigeria, because the ultra-modern market is actually a project for all the people of Nigeria. We'll be reporting on the progress of work there.
Okay, many thanks. Kingsley Femi Fanwo, Kogi State Commissioner for Information Communications.
Thank you very much for having me. And from time to time, we will also be giving updates of these projects on the biggest television in Africa, NTA. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now moving on, with a congratulatory message to the President-elect of Ghana, John Mahama, on his victory in the presidential election. The incumbent Vice President and candidate of the ruling NPP, Muhammadu Bawumia, has solidified Ghana's status as a beacon of democracy in Africa. This was the position of various international observation missions in Accra at a joint review meeting. Kelvin Ibonwaye reports.
The Electoral Commission of Ghana is yet to officially announce the result of the presidential election. But with the bulk of the result received from the majority of the regions, the incumbent Vice President Muhammadu Bawumia didn't have to wait for the final results before accepting defeat. This action, the international observation missions here said, is a further testament to Ghana's rich democratic culture, which is now a template for other African countries on how the elections can be successfully managed.
It shows the democratic maturity of Ghana, the political maturity of its people, and at the end of the day, it shows that for the population, Ghana comes first, and this is what they have shown.
Very dignifying, and I would say a historic moment for Ghana, because his concession speech that came even before the Electoral Commission concluded or even started the process of the collation, it's not just a welcome development, but it has further reinforced Ghana as a poster child for democracy. But with this act, Ghana has passed the litmus test.
Meanwhile, the development is already sending excitement through the streets of Accra as the people jubilate with expectations of what is to come. In Accra, Kelvin Ibonwaye, Nta News.
Also, President Bola Tinubu has congratulated President-elect John Dramani Mahama on his victory in the December 7th general election in Ghana, following his opponent's concession speech. In a telephone call to Mahama, President Tinubu hoped that Mahama's ascension to power for the second time would further bring stability to the economic community of West African states, ECOWAS, of which President Tinubu is the chairman. President Tinubu, in a statement issued by his special advisor on information and strategy, commended the people of Ghana for their commitment to democracy, which was demonstrated through the peaceful and successful conduct of both the presidential and parliamentary elections. He applauded Ghanaians for demonstrating again to the world that democracy is the preferred path to achieving political stability, economic development, social justice, and transparent governance in Africa. He affirmed that Nigerians and the regions believe in the principles of the people's right to choose their leaders freely, and this will remain a source of pride. The Nigerian leader applauded the candidates of the governing New Patriotic Party, NPP, the Vice President of Ghana, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, for conceding defeat before the official announcement by Ghana's Electoral Commission. President Tinubu said Bawumia's stance reinforced Ghana's democratic ethos. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Ali Pate, met with his Qatari counterpart, Minister of Public Health, Mansour Al-Mahmoud, and agreed to a bilateral framework for an agreement to enhance Nigeria's healthcare ecosystem. The coordinating minister held the critical meeting alongside other engagements with the multi-billion-dollar Qatar Fund for Development and Qatar Charities on the sidelines of the Doha Forum in Doha, Qatar on Sunday.
Collaborate in terms of medical outreaches and considering the expansion of the Vulnerable Groups Fund so that we protect our mothers from obstetric complications, cesarean section, and the affordability of that, consistent with the policy direction of our government to make sure that women do not die because they cannot afford the critical services that they need. We also had very rich discussion with the Minister of Public Health of the State of Qatar to explore collaboration in the human resource arena. In January, we will have Nigerian professionals visiting Qatar to look at the Qatar Rehabilitation Institute, what we can learn, because there's a lot that we can learn from Qatar. We will also look at their blood transfusion services and how they've organized it, and the emergency medical system in Qatar. Finally, we had a conversation with the Qatar Fund for Development to explore how the Qatar Fund for Development can join us and expand the availability of quality primary healthcare services, immunization, and for external investors to participate in what is emerging to be a story of prosperity.
The Nigeria Police Force says it has successfully rescued 20 kidnapped victims in Katsina State along the Katsina-Magama, Jibia and Funtua-Goso Road. In a statement, the Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi notes that police operatives from the Katsina State Command intercepted a group of armed bandits who had opened fire on a moving vehicle conveying 10 occupants in an attempt to kidnap the occupants. The police operatives engaged the armed bandits in a gun duel and successfully overpowered them, thereby rescuing the victims unhurt. Similarly, the police operatives attached to the same Katsina State Command got information of an ambush of a vehicle conveying 10 passengers along the Funtua-Goso Road by suspected bandits and quickly mobilized to the scene where they engaged the bandits in a fierce gun duel, overpowering them and rescuing the 10 abducted victims. In another development, the police operatives attached to the Akwa Ibom State Command also rescued a young lady who had been abducted by a suspect with the intention of selling her off for prostitution in a neighboring country. The suspect has since been arrested and the victim reunited with her family. Again, the police in Akwa Ibom State has also raided a kidnapper's den within the Amayam and Ikot Ukpong villages and successfully rescued 2 kidnapped victims unhurt. The groundbreaking ceremony of an ultra-modern divisional police station in Ekirinyade, Ijumu local government area of Kogi State, to further improve on security in the state has been performed in a grand style. Correspondent Solomon Ayedin, who was there, filed this report.
His Royal Majesty too, thank you very much.
The Ekirinyade Ultra-Modern Divisional Police Station project, initiated by the Police Trust Fund, is in line with the renewed hope agenda of the federal government aimed at fostering national security and development. The project, designed to be equipped with state-of-art facilities, is geared towards improving the welfare and to boost the morale of the men of Nigerian police for effective service delivery. The Executive Secretary, Police Trust Fund, and other stakeholders lauded the project, reaffirming the commitments of government to security of lives and property across the country. They urged the contractor to deliver the project in record time and according to specification.
Well, I think to enable us have a more secure environment, it is key that we locate such a station to empower and to also enable our police officers have a working environment for us to be able to have a more secure environment and a location like this.
It's a welcome development. We are happy about it. It will take security nearer to the grassroots.
It's a thing we'll be yearning for, and really it will boost the economic development of the community.
Described as the first of its kind, the project is to be replicated in other parts of the country. It is expected to be completed and delivered in the first quarter of the year 2025. In Ekriade, Kogi State, Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have arrested a suspected drug trafficker who claims to be a building engineer while attempting to take delivery of illicit consignments concealed in pressure machines imported from South Africa. This is among large quantity of different types of illicit substances recovered from other suspects, including a 65-year-old woman.
Year-old man was arrested on Monday, 2nd December 2024 at a motor park in Enugu, where he showed up to collect 3 units of pressure machine. Inside were hidden parcels of loud, a synthetic strain of cannabis weighing 7.40 kilograms. The consignment had arrived at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, on the 29th November 2024. Intelligence reports revealed that officers of the NDLEA monitored the clearing process up to the collection point in Enugu, where the suspect was arrested. No fewer than 511,000 pills of tramadol were recovered from a Sienna vehicle in Adamawa State by NDLEA operators on patrol along the road in the early hours of Friday, 6 December. The occupants of the vehicle had made a detour on sighting the NDLEA team and later abandoned the vehicle with the consignments. In Lagos, a 65-year-old woman was on Friday, 6 December arrested by NDLEA operatives at Lagos Island, where 20.6 liters of codeine-based syrup were recovered from her. This arrest, NDLEA says, it is in line with its target to fighting drug supply and reduction in the country.
This is the news at 10 on Nta News 24. Let's take a break. More news when we return.
The Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, FNIPR, cordially invites Commissioners of Information and Orientation and Strategy, Permanent Secretaries, stakeholders in the information sector, public communication managers, marketing communicators, and the general public to the 48th edition of the National Council on Information and National Orientation, holding in Kaduna City, Kaduna State. The National Council is the highest policy decision body in the sector and is expected to deliberate on the theme, Enhancing Public Information Management for Inclusive Governance. With the renewed hope agenda in focus and make critical decisions, the council meeting is scheduled as follows. Dates: 11th December 2024, arrival. 12th December 2024, technical sessions. 13th December 2024, council meetings. Venue: Hotel 17, number 6 Tafawa Balewa Way, Lafia Road, Kaduna City, Kaduna State. Time: 9 a.m. daily. Mrs. Comfort Ajiboye, Director, Overseeing Office of the Permanent Secretary. Announcer.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. 5 days after a fire disaster destroyed many shops at the market in Damaturu, the Yobe State capital, another fire incident has occurred in Gashua town, headquarters of Badi local government area. According to reports from the area, more than 40 shops were affected at the market, which is located opposite the main market in the town. The affected market is popularly referred to as Kaya Market in reference to the bustling and hustling nature of the transactions in the market. The fire started late into the night from a nearby residential building close to the market and spread to the shops. Intervention by firefighters helped in putting out the fire, effort that helped in containing it to reach the main market. No life was lost, but property worth millions of naira were destroyed. Both accidents in Nigeria's inland waterways are no longer rare occurrences. They have become a heartbreaking reality. Just this past week, the Dambo-Ebuchi section of the River Niger claimed several lives in yet another tragic incident. And just recently, Kukba community in Kogi State had to deal with similar incident. In this special report, Joseph Otsen takes us on a journey to understand why these mishaps keep happening and what can be done to stop them.
In many parts of the world, waterways are symbols of leisure and adventure. But here in Nigeria, especially for riverine communities, they are much more than that. Canoes and fiber engine boats are links between isolated areas and the rest of the country, a vital lifeline.
Because of this village, it's a big village. They get small village inside this water, plenty, round. All of them now this market and they come every Friday.
Sadly, instead of being a source of connection and livelihood, these waters are becoming sites of tragedies. Recent data from the Marine Craft Builders Association reveals that over 3,100 boat accidents have been recorded in the last decade. And just in October, on Independence Day, about 150 passengers lost their lives when a boat carrying over 300 people capsized on the Niger River. Fatal incidents have also been reported in states like Lagos, Adamawa, Delta, Zamfara, Gombe, and Kano. Each accident added to the growing death toll and deepened the wounds in affected communities.
I lost members of my family.
Why do these tragedies keep happening? The reasons are clear as they are traveling. Overloading of vessels, often driven by economic pressures. Poor maintenance of boats that are barely seaworthy but continue to operate, putting lives at risk. And lack of safety regulations, including non-use of life jackets that would have saved lives.
The boat users, drivers, we are not doing enough. If there is a serious law that will make them not to carry overload, make them not to travel in the night, I think all these boat mishaps will come to an end.
Concerned by the rising toll of life, President Bola Tinubu directed the National Inland Waterways Authority to investigate and propose solutions. Agencies like HAPADEC and several state governments have distributed safety boats and life jackets to riverine communities.
Each boat comes with 10 life buoys, 2 fire extinguishers, 50 life jackets for adults, and 6 number life jackets for children. And then it is powered by 2 number 40 horsepower engines, which they can use alternately.
But is this enough? Experts say the real challenge lies in enforcement. Regulations mean little if they aren't followed. Both should not leave the shore without basic safety checks. Regular inspection, stiff penalties for non-compliance, and community awareness are all critical. And passengers must prioritize their own safety by demanding life jackets and respecting limits. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
Now, with nations around the world still grappling with the harsh impact of climate change, and experts and stakeholders are raising awareness on the importance of disaster preparedness and emergency response. Adejoke Odeka has more on this and why the enlightenment is crucial in the light of climate crisis.
The International Climate Change Negotiations COP29 has come and gone, but the issue of climate change will continue to resonate throughout this century and beyond. Climate crisis is a harsh reality of our time, with negative effects that have brought many nations to their knees. So these environmentalists and stakeholders are amplifying the need for more advocacy on mitigation and adaptation, including green alternatives.
But for us as individuals, it's a bit difficult to really say we are going to control climate change. Rather, we should now know the impact of climate change on our life and the way we should adapt to it.
Community engagement in strengthening resilience and the need to build indigenous knowledge with modern technology, experts say, will go a long way in enhancing disaster risk reduction strategies, emergency response, and sustainable development.
Combating climate change is not a single method. Multifaceted method, multifaceted stakeholders will come together and combat climate change.
To collectively do it in our individual ways, as simple as clearing waterways and drainages, as big as mobilizing resources, and as collectively as coordinating the response together.
Stakeholders from federal and state agencies, the military, civil society, and other organizations agree that the first step to managing climate crisis is general awareness, as this will foster understanding of the effects of climate change, facilitate behavioral change, as well as societal support for actions needed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
For a nation to prosper and attain its full potential, productivity and all its machineries must operate at an optimal level. Key industry players believe this involves fostering innovation, strengthening infrastructure, and investing in human capital development. Awal Yusuf Jibo in this report takes a look at the Nigerian situation and explores what needs to be done to improve on it.
In economies around the world, productivity, the cornerstone of economic growth and development, is often affected by several persistent factors. Nigeria, one of Africa's largest economies, is no exception. Despite efforts and initiatives, the nation still struggles to harness its vast human and natural resources for optimal output.
Productivity is the efficient way of using the resources that you have. In other words, you maximize your output based on your input combination.
Productivity costs across every sector of life, I must say. It's not about only organization, it's about also individual.
For Nigeria to overcome the challenges associated with low productivity, industry players say certain actions must be taken.
We are just bound to make sure that we put policies in place to making sure that productivity is enhanced.
If you can lower our external consumption taste or pattern and look inwards, consume more of what we have, consume less of what we don't have, not just on personal, but even at governance level.
Improving productivity is not just an economic necessity. Experts believe it is a pathway to achieving social stability and improving the quality of life of millions of Nigerians. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
Let's take another break. More news when we return. Welcome back. Opposition political parties have been enjoined to generate ideas for national development rather than thinking about next election. Editor-in-Chief of Nigeria Today magazine, Eze Chikam Nayo, at a media briefing in Abuja said that time has come for citizens to sustain support for government reform programs and not confrontational all the time. He emphasized that he will continue to deepen conversation with larger society on the imperatives of strategic economic reforms in Nigeria's quest for sustainable development.
You know, whether you're a member of APC or whether you're a member of PDP or you're a member of Labour or whatever is the effect of the reforms affects all. And the government it's incumbent on them to continue to say more, to elucidate, to shed more light on what they are doing, where we are going. And I believe that the opposition also should be advised to continue to interrogate more, to put in more of their opinion. There is no reason, there is no basis for us to convert this conversation to confrontation.
The National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, says it received over 2 million complaints in a year. The Executive Secretary of the Commission, Tony Ojukwu, made this known at a National Legislative Forum on Human Rights.
With various stakeholders, including the government, civil society, and international organizations, and with our various committees in the National Assembly and State Assemblies to promote human rights and rule of law and mainstream human rights into legislations across the country.
The forum was organized by the Commission with support from Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption ROLAC as part of activities marking International Human Rights Week. In a world where relationships shape our experiences and outcomes, a pair of new books offer timely insights into building meaningful connections. Rising Through Relationships and The Queen That You Are is the latest work from Oluchi Kate Anna. Correspondent Ibrahim and Hamidu takes a look at these thought-provoking books.
As we delve into the pages of Rising Through Relationships and The Queen That You Are, the words echo a profound truth. Every thread of connection reveals a facet of our soul, and every knot of conflict tests the resilience of our character.
I have seen young people that tell me, I fight with my mother, this, that, I don't talk with anybody. Why? Because we don't know how to connect with ourselves. And it's not getting better.
Guest speakers at the event praised Oluchi Kate Anna's work, noting its relevance to contemporary society.
The relationship that we build today is not because we want to get something from others. It is because we want to develop a symbiotic relationship.
And I was saying to myself, I said, I imagine if this book has been written some 50 years ago, do you know I would have had far less sex workers in the slum.
Book reviewers also shared their thoughts on Rising Through Relationships and The Queen That You Are.
Driven by her passion for youth empowerment, she founded Fix the Things Initiative, an NGO focused on transforming the lives of vulnerable teenagers and youth, helping them become the best version of themselves.
So if we don't connect properly with ourselves, we can't connect with others. If I don't know myself better, I won't know the other person.
The thought-provoking book emphasizes the importance of self-reflection and personal growth, a valuable resource for anyone seeking to improve their relationships by connecting properly.
You know, her passion for the youth and guests is awesome. Something that people should emulate.
Because some people live as if there is nobody anywhere. They don't have any reverence to God. They live as if they created themselves. So first of all, you begin by maintaining a good relationship with God, reverencing God, honoring God, and then understanding who you are in the first place. Because if you don't know who you are, you will not be able to relate with others.
You know, this is a project that started since a long time, close to 3 years now, and it arose out of our passion for the girl child, and then the belief that it is relationship that takes care of every matter in this world. From the strata of family to community to every society, until the relationship is good, there cannot be peace.
In Abuja, I'm Ibrahim Dan Hamidu, Nta News.
The people of Owerri in Imo State have come together to celebrate Audueji 2024, a time of social interaction, merrymaking, and an expression of the rich culture of the people. Dennis Adegunloye reports that the occasion also serves as promotes peace and unity in the southeast.
It was a gathering of Owerri indigents who converged on Abuja to celebrate themselves with music, dancing, and cuisine. An important undertone of the festivities was the desire for the continued sustenance of peace, political stability, and good governance in Imo State and the Southeast generally. Through cultural and value reorientation, Imo elders hope to imbibe in the youths a mindset of harmony, and a passionate appeal was made for an end to insecurity in the Southeast and for all, no matter their agitations, to embrace peace.
What people are saying that equity will usher in development in Imo State. And they want to thank the governor of Imo State and the Council of Elders for endorsing the Charter of Equity, which is what will allow for orderly transition in governance. So at this time now, in 2027, it will return of Imo Owerri zone to post a good governor. So we are brought together people from Kigwe, Owerri, and Olu zone to have a cultural fiesta of peace and to bond ourselves together to say that this time around, Imo State people want equity.
We know that actually of equity, we start from Owerri and rotate to Okigwe, then to Olu, so that there will be political harmony and peace in the political space in Imo State.
This year's celebration was with the theme The Owerri Heritage. In Abuja, Dennis Adegunloye, Nta News.
Nigerians should be rest assured that President Bola Tinubu's administration is committed to delivering on his promises and surmount various challenges facing the country. This was the message of President Tinubu's personal assistant on constituency affairs, Khadijat Omotayo Karim, when Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State hosted her team at a Christmas carol held at Adeleke University in Ede. Karim commended Governor Adeleke for the love and his people-centered approach to governance in the state and urged Nigerians to give and extend love to one another in the spirit of this season.
It is a time to come together with the family, friends, to share the spirit of giving and to remember the value that brings us together.
It's the time to share. It's time to go around and give. And when you are giving, give it with your heart. Don't expect anything in return. That is what you call love. And when you give, you will see what God will do for you.
So I thank God Almighty for also watching over us, seeing us through from January till December that we are in now.
The president's aide and her team are in Osun State to engage stakeholders towards energizing the Renewed Hope initiative to cascade the dividends of democracy to the grassroots. Joyful sounds filled the air as pupils of Belmont Institute of Music's converged to celebrate Christ during their 2024 special carol ceremony in Abuja. Adobe Obiechina reports that the carol was an opportunity for the children to showcase their musical gifts. The report.
These pupils and students using their musical gifts and talent in celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ left their parents and lovers of music beaming with pride. Parents and students alike said the passion for music has shaped their minds and promoted their mental well-being.
Oh, so I know how to sing and I know how to play the bass guitar, the violin, and the acoustic guitar.
I wanted to be a good musician.
When it comes to skills that children have, you need to harness it, find a way to groom it, and make sure that those skills see the light of the day.
For the coordinator, Moses Taiwo, musical mentoring has been a powerful tool for social change. Through music, he said, he has been able to bring out-of-school children back to the classroom and building a healthier society.
One of the reasons why we actually focus more for the past 2 years now on children is the fact that discover that some of them, they're roaming about, not doing anything, or they major on playing games. I don't have any issue with playing games and everything. But however, taking the time to develop their musical capacity, their talent, is very important and is very good.
The attendees said their performance is an indication of the Institute's commitment to nurturing young talent and fostering love for music, a pointer to a better future for the Nigerian music industry. Adobe Obiechina, NTA News.
Embracing the teachings and life lessons of compassion, peace, love and togetherness of Prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him, by Muslims will correct the non-Islamic behavior being exhibited by this generation. This is the view of Islamic scholars at the annual Maulud celebration organized by Musassat Islamic Foundation in Abuja. Ibrahim Bello Gunda reports.
Maulud celebration is the gathering of Islamic believers to commemorate the birth of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, by reminding the Muslim faithful on the need to follow the teachings and life of the Prophet as a guide.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself eulogizes, glorifies, praises his messenger Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
We do empowerment, we do health care and support for education.
We acquired 2 plots of land at Lagos costing about 100 million naira. The fund was generated internally among members. We are seizing this opportunity to appeal to members of the public who can come to our assistance and build the mosque and school and clinic.
The Maulud celebration organized by Muassasat Nasrul Ilm Wada Award Foundation featured lectures titled Building a Peaceful Home, as exemplified by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, by Sheikh Abdulrazak Abdul Wahab. The second lecture, delivered by Kainde Adu Shakir, has the title Navigating Through the Prevailing Economic Hardship Without Compromising One's Faith. There were medical outreach as part of activities marking the day. In Abuja, Ibrahim Bello Gunda, NTA News.
In further strengthening national unity and cohesion, Strongest State Nigeria, SSN, a reality show, is calling on Nigerians from all ethnicities to come together and forge a common ground for a more prosperous and secure future. Also designed to empower youths, SSN, which is entering its 2nd season, has the vision of making Nigeria one where the nation's diversity is harnessed and unity, peace and love are sustained in the country.
Is geared at promoting the rich cultural heritage of all the tribes across the 36 states of the Federation. We are bringing youth together to teach them the password, to teach them the need of living as one united and indivisible Nigeria.
We want to make sure that Nigerians come together, irrespective of their tribe, to live together, to find the concept of unity.
Generally, in Numpian language, all we need is culture. And we can see in this project, they emphasize our culture and unity. So I have the belief that it will help Numpian Kingdom.
Not only youth, the whole nation, the whole public, we should unite ourselves. No discrimination.
When we have people of different tribes and ethnicities come together under one umbrella, this is actually what SSN is all about.
Nigeria's leadership must adopt a more pragmatic approach to addressing the nation's food security and boost the production of goods and services. With the country's heavy dependence on imports, especially in critical sectors like food, agriculture and manufacturing, there is a pressing need for policies that prioritize local production. This topped discussions at the Institute of Strategic Management Fellows annual meeting in Abuja. As the year is gradually winding up, it was time for fellows and members of the Institute of Strategic Management to take stock of its contributions to leadership at all levels and project for the coming year. The gathering noted that strengthening domestic agriculture through improved technology, irrigation systems and support for farmers will reduce reliance on imported food, helping stabilize prices and ensure food security. Similarly, fostering local industries by providing incentives and reducing import tariffs can stimulate production, create jobs, and ultimately reduce the drain on foreign reserves.
Based on new societal strategy,
Nigeria's leadership has not been pragmatically and strategically initiating the needed change. Worse still, institutions that serve as platforms for salvation and sanctity of our country have become pauperized, become weakened, vulnerable. The question is, who will bail the cat?
It goes a long way to say that hard work is noticed, and we are glad today that that seed which we helped in nurturing has come of age.
The Nigerian Air Force Chief of Accounts and Budget, Air Vice Marshal Uche Nwagu, was among recipients of awards of excellence. A hospital is more than just a building. It is a beacon of hope where compassion and excellence converge. For 25 years, the National Hospital Abuja has embodied this truth, offering healing and hope to millions of Nigerians. When the hospital recently celebrated its 25th anniversary, it made sure the occasion was truly unforgettable. Salwa Ibrahim Khalil brings us highlights of the event.
What began as a mother and child hospital with 200-bed capacity 25 years ago has now become one of the best referral hospitals in Nigeria, now boasting a capacity of more than 500 beds. These feats could not have been achieved without the services of member staff who have continuously kept the hospital running despite some challenges. Now it's time to give a pat on the back to the unsung heroes, past and present, irrespective of their cadre.
While here in National Hospital, you have served diligently. He has really done extremely well while here.
You just retire, I'm sure you are not tired.
Social welfare. Emmanuel Uyo from Staff Bus Transport Department, Nuruddin and Libby. The man of the people.
We work together as a family, we do everything together, and that is why we are having results.
So you can see cancer treatment has also grown, from 1 LINAC to 2 LINACs, and so on and so forth. So many achievements the hospital have made.
National Hospital remains the #1 health institution in Nigeria. We must live up to its name. We must live to its calling.
In the next 50 years, I see National Hospital being the hospital that can be reckoned with, at least on the continent of Africa, if not the whole world.
A toast to another 25 years.
Of touching lives, of breaking the glass ceiling, of going further ahead.
From a hospital caring mainly for women and children, the National Hospital is now a beacon of hope for many, and this toast celebrates its achievements, past, present, and future.
You're watching the news at 10 on Nta News 24. Another look at our major stories. International observers commend political actors for successful elections in Ghana. Nigeria and Qatar signed bilateral framework to enhance Nigeria's healthcare ecosystem. Nigeria Police Force says it has successfully rescued 20 kidnapped victims in Katsina State. Correspondent takes a look at devastating boat mishaps in Nigeria. Welcome back. And on the foreign scene, let's join Patricia Esami-Luba for trending developments that made the headlines.
On the foreign scene, reports have it that Syria's President Bashar al-Assad flees country as rebels took control of Damascus. The people took to the streets of Syrian capital, Damascus, in the early hours of Sunday morning to celebrate the end of a 50-year rule by the Assad's family. In a culminating of its lightning advance across the country, Syrian insurgents seized control of the city to topple the president after more than 13 years of civil war. Syrians expressed their joy at the end of Assad's repressive regime. Night before, reports have it that opposition forces took the central city of Homs, Syria's third largest, as government forces abandoned it. Two senior officials said that Assad fled Damascus on a plane to an unknown destination on Sunday. While in the push to overthrow his government, the rebels met little resistance from the Syrian army. Syria's prime minister, who remains in the country, said he was ready to cooperate and offered a peaceful transition. Washington, however, said on Sunday that it was monitoring events in Syria closely and are in touch with the regional partners. And to Burkina Faso, reports say a new prime minister has been appointed by the ruling military junta a day after dissolving the government without providing any reason. Rimtalba Jean-Emmanuel Quadrago, communications minister and a spokesperson for the previous government, has been named as the country's new premier. No reasons were given for the dismissal of the former prime minister, who was appointed interim premier soon after Traoré seized power in September 2022. The junta ousted the military rule of Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Damiba about 8 months after it had staged a coup to remove democratically elected President Rochmark Kabore. The country is one of several West African nations where the military has recently taken over, capitalizing on popular discontent with previous democratically elected governments over security issues. However, since the latest coup, military leaders have struggled to end Burkina Faso's security challenges, the very reason it claimed had prompted it to take power. Patricia Esami-Luba on the foreign scene.
And up next is Sports Update.
Victor Osimhen was on target as Galatasaray beat their host Sivasspor 3-2 in a thrilling Turkish Super League clash on Sunday. Galatasaray were reduced to 10 men after 15 minutes, with Mehmetcan Beltaci getting the marching order for a poor tackle. Gary Rodriguez gave their home team the lead 10 minutes later. The visitors fought back, with Yunus Akgün equalizing 9 minutes before the break. Osimhen was brought down inside the box in the closing stages of the first half and slaughtered home superbly from the spot. The Nigerian international has now scored 7 goals and registered 3 assists in 9 league appearances for the Yellow and Reds.
Osimhen geliyor. Victor Osimhen vuruyor ve gol! Victor Osimhen!
In Formula 1, Lando Norris secured McLaren's first Formula 1 Constructors' Championship for 26 years with victory in the season-ending Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Norris led from start to finish, and his 4th win of the season was enough to seal the championship by 14 points, despite Ferrari finishing 2nd and 3rd with Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc.
But this is the moment that McLaren dreamed of. Lando Norris wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. McLaren are world champions of 2024. They win the Constructors' title for the first time since 1998.
And that concludes the news at 10 on Nta News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Stella Inameti.